This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust you'll consider this like a vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom and leave a rating and a brief written review. If you'd like to get on my calendar to see if there's an opportunity that we could come alongside and work together, I could be a help to you. I'm looking for that next level leader who wants to improve, has some dreams they want to accomplish, wants to put procrastination in their rear view mirror. If you fall into any one of those categories, why don't you get on my calendar and let's visit. Go to drronblake.com/call and I will call you. What can you do is what I want to talk about today. Often when I'm talking with leaders, we'll hear them say, well, this is just the way it is, and what can I do about it? But there's this kind of a myth going around that says that you and I are just sort of hapless victims by the circumstances of life and the way people treat us and the way that things go. But there are so many things you can do. I mean, you really can. I want to just talk about 10. I could have gone on for 100 or more, for more than 100. But that is, there are things you can do. I want you to drop the victim mentality. I want you to quit complaining about because you can't do this, you throw your hands up in despair as if there's nothing you can do. I don't care what bad breaks you have had, what things people have done to you, what awful things have transpired in your life. There are things that you can do. And you make the decision, and you set the tone, and you are the chief decider. The first is, regardless of where you are in life, whether you're just merely leading yourself, leading your family, leading a church, leading work, it really doesn't matter. Just decide you're going to be a team player. You're not going to be just looking out for number one. You're not going to just do what you want to do, but you're going to be the best at whatever it is that you can honestly be, and you'll be a team player. Don't just be one of those who's into self-promotion. Every one of us listening to this podcast have people who pop into our minds who seem to be experts at self-promoting. Be a team player. Make sure that everyone comes along, that everyone is valued. Everyone is listened to. Everyone is an integral part of the team. It's not an us and them, it's we. We really do truly need each other. It's not about the leader succeeding. It's about all of us moving incrementally forward heading in the direction of our aspirations and dreams. The second thing, leader, that I want you to talk about is that I want to talk to you about is that you can do is you can keep your emotions in check. There are just some of us that are more emotive. I think I am one of those. There are more of us, or many of us, who have an opinion and will share it quickly. There are some who have quick triggers. There are some of us who may be more easily set off than others. Nothing will damage your reputation and your ability to lead than continual emotional outbursts. Learn to keep your emotions in check. If you need to go talk with someone, go talk with someone. That's a valuable, valuable thing. But we cannot have our leaders just going off. Learn to keep your emotions in check. So that's something you have control over. You can't say, well, this is how my parents were. That's just the way I am. When you say that's just the way I am, you are signifying that it is something that you absolutely have control over. So get a handle, or as they say, get a grip. The third thing that you can do, there is something very important you can do, And that is, regardless of where you are in the organization, become an expert in something. Now, most of us chafe when someone says something like this because we don't see ourselves as an expert. But you are an expert. You're an expert in many things. So learn something, study something, something you're gifted at, something you have done repetitively, something that has been a part of your tasks to accomplish, something that you have practiced so long and executed it as well and have had a degree of success. Find something and make yourself an expert. But there's a part B to this third thing that you can control. Yes, I've already said it. Become an expert in something, but don't rest on your laurels. Don't give up. And even if you are older, couple that with learning a new skill, learning something different. It's not only wonderful to be an expert and to have a set of skills that you're really good at and you're really in your wheelhouse and you're very comfortable participating in that. You also need to have the flip side of that feeling, and that is the uncomfortability that comes when we are stretched outside of where we're comfortable, when we are trying to learn something new, trying to learn a foreign language, trying to learn an activity that we've never done before. When you get out into those fields, it can get really almost scary because you've never done that before and you get just a tad bit nervous. Both of those are things you have control over. You have control over taking something and learning it and doing it until you're an expert. But then don't just rest on that. Continue to branch out and try something new. What can you do? Let me give you a fourth one, leader, and that is take responsibility. Nothing is worse than an individual who continually goes around blaming someone else for everything that's ever happened to them. If you're wrong, admit it. If you made a mistake, admit it. If you dropped the ball, admit it. Say you're sorry, apologize, own it. Take responsibility. This does not lessen people's view of you when you behave in this manner. As a matter of fact, it gives you a lot of credibility with people. For no one is infallible, and we all make mistakes, and we all do things that we wish we had done differently or had done better. Take responsibility. Leader, you and I are always modeling. And if you want to model the kind of behavior you desire to see in your organization, in your family, then you need to take responsibility and show the way. The fifth thing you can do goes along with learning a new skill, and that is keep learning. We don't ever get to the point where we can just say, I know everything that I need to know on a given subject, therefore the case is closed. Especially in this information age that we are living in, information is just accelerating and exploding. And so there's no way that you can possibly stop and say, I know everything about my field of endeavor that I need to do. Keep learning. That obviously involves going to seminars, listening to podcasts, reading books. One of the things that I'm trying to do as I'm on the older equation of life, and that is I try to listen to young people. For it's easy for those of us of other generations to say, I don't understand. That's not the way we did it. Why don't you stop and talk to a young person and get a line on how they think and why they think that way? Just having conversations with others is a wonderful learning experience. Number 6 is a lot like number 4. Number 4, a thing that you can control is to take responsibility. But there's a part of that I mentioned then that I really want to emphasize one more time. It's the 6th thing that you can do. Admit when you're wrong. Go ahead. Just practice with me. I was wrong. Here's the sad thing. Write down the last time you ever heard a leader say that. The last time you heard the president of a company, a foreman, a pastor, a leader of a not-for-profit say, I tried that and I was wrong. Everyone knows when you're wrong. I won't say everyone, but those who work with you will know when you're wrong. They will admire you more, follow you more fully, if you willingly stand up and admit, I made a mistake, I was wrong, I'm sorry, and I apologize. The seventh thing that you can do, that you're not a helpless, hapless victim, is learn to communicate. This is something we all strive to do, and it's one of those skills, it's one of those things that we need to do that none of us ever feel that we are really good at it. Or if you do feel that you're really good at it, I'm worried about your ability to be a delusional person. Communicate. Those of us on the inside of something, because we talk about it and work with it so often, we feel like we know and it's been communicated and almost over-communicated. But one of the things that you and I have control over is the fact that we need to communicate. The eighth thing of what can you do? How about mentoring someone? None of us are going to be around forever. We're going to have to pass the baton more than likely. One of the things that we can do to help make those transitions somewhat easier and a little more smooth is to mentor someone. There were people who mentored me back when I was a young person. Mentoring was not the word that it is today, but it was still happening. It was not happening perhaps in as formal ways as it happens now, but I had marvelous mentors, people who poured their lives into me, starting with my blind grandmother when I was a child, all the way to pastors and professors and colleagues who poured themselves into me. And now I'm in that time of life where I'm looking to pour myself into someone else's life. So we just need to really focus on mentoring, passing on. You have a lot of information inside of you, leader. It'd be a shame if we went to the next world with all of that to ourselves. Let's do our best to pass everything on that we can. Number 9 is let's praise others. That's something that we can do. We have a tendency to point out when people make mistakes and when they're not doing well. But let's make up our minds that we're going to be one of those people that just go around praising other people and telling them how well they do. The 10th and final one that I want to share with you on something you have control over and something you and you alone can do is make sure you take action. Talk is cheap in the world in which you and I live. The world belongs to the women and men who execute, who take action, who don't just have dreams, don't just have visions, don't just have neat little written plans, but they actually get up every day, put one foot in front of the other, take one baby step, do one thing that moves them closer to the area where they want to get, and they take action. That is something you have control over. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this was like a vitamin or a mineral for your heart and mind. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom and leave a rating and a brief written review. If you'd like to get on my calendar to see if there's any possibility of us working together, just go to drronblake.com/call. Remember, my leadership friend, you are doing better than you think you are. You really are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.